So how do I pick out videos that I'm going to do for you all? I don't know. I wake up in the morning, I get inspired, or a friend helps me out by saying, hey, I'm at Walmart and these bunnies are on 50% clearance. So I'm like, oh, I did those bunnies and they were so much fun. And I don't think bunnies are just Easter decor. They're decor. They're decor all year round. So which motivated me to get back into my swan pile. Do I have a swan pile? Yeah, I have a swan pile of swans that need to be redone, along with the Dollar Tree sheet planter that I just cannot. As soon as I put it in my booth, it is gone. So I thought I would do another one. So it's kind of an animal video. So I just wake up in the morning and look at my pile going, okay, who wants to get made over today? Oh, yes, the textured, amazingly textured, and like my local Walmart only had like the standing one left, which is still pretty cute, but I like the pair. I like the thought of the pair together. So yes, I'm gonna do a recap of, I don't know, because even though you paint one style doesn't mean it's gonna turn out the same, the exact same every time you do it. That's just how that works. But I love that they're terracotta, and I love all that texture paint that gives them all that yummy detail. So for the bunnies, I'm looking for kind of like a cashmere off-white color, but I wanna be able to do some additives to it. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use flour sack, 2 scoops of flour sack, and then I'm going to use a half a scoop of ironstone, antique ironstone, and then we'll see what that comes up with. So we got Sweet Pickins is a powder paint. I like that you can add them all together to create your own little concoctions, your original color. So I don't want these to stay bright white, but I didn't want to use a paint that had a top coat because I want to try to seal it in with some waxes and add some detail to paint. You add just regular tap water, so equal parts. So I did 2.5-ish, half-ish. And then I'll see what my color looks like. Yeah, it's just like a little cashmere off-white, not too overly white. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And then you stir it up for 2 minutes, making sure you scrape your sides, scraping on the bottom, let it aerate, set it off to the side and let it thicken up a bit. I'm gonna put Bonder in mine. I don't want any crackling crazing on here. I don't want the paint chipping off, so I'm going to use a little bit of the Bonder Extra Bond to help seal it onto that textured bunnies. I think whatever you probably add in, close enough, will help. Okay, we need to take the Walmart tag off. There's not like you can clean much of it by any means. So they're regular $8.98 at our local Walmarts, but they're half price because they're Easter. I guess it works. It works just fine. So yes, we're just going to get the paint on. And yeah, I'm gonna do the bottom. It's just me. How I roll. Of this, the texture is just amazing on this piece. And I think it's like unsealed. There's like some of those techniques that they do where they just dip it into like a chalk type of paint, but they don't put any sealer on it. So perfect piece to paint over. I was happy when she said they had both the bunnies there, that one was laying down and one was sitting up. My local one was just only had the standing up ones left. I think even when I bought it, they didn't have many. Okay, my little bunnies are dry. I only ended up doing 1 coat, but then like 2 on the bottom. And I'm going to do patina dust so I need to seal this in, because if I can't control it when you have a paint that will absorb in. So sealing it in with a clear coat first will help you be able to play and, you know, control a little bit it a little bit better. Clear coat's dry. We are probably going to do, I'm looking at my little dust that I have. I know that I'm going to do decrepit because it's my go-to. I think earth, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. I am not sure. Maybe I'll do the gray, though. Maybe I'll do gray. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna, I love the brown ones that I did. Love those. I'm down to my last. Look at how messy I made this. Okay, we're just going to go for it. I'm going to get some wax on one of my brushes. I'm going to open up some of my containers. I'm going to see what earth looks like. Because charcoal's black. I did realize that. I tried put that on my little... I'm like, oh, no, that is a little too much. Okay, so wax in the area you want to do the dust. And then I'm going to go in with some of the decrepit and a little brush, knocking off quite a bit of it though. Like I said, that's why I sealed this in so I could play, because you got some play time with your wax. So now I'm trying a little bit of the earth. Which the earth might be darker than the decrepit. Okay, back to my fan brushes of blending everything in. Because we'll end up doing the entire piece with the dust. Just very, it's kind of a slow process, kinda, but you're like Bob Ross making happy little trees. So it's not a rush. We're crafting because we enjoy it. We're not mass producing items. We're making one-of-a-kind artwork, even on secondhand finds. So now we're going on to the ear. This is the decrepit. Oh, the earth. Kind of want to work in sections. And then taking the fan brush and just tap, 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 tap. Put a little wax on. And then I'm just going to keep tapping with what I blended this out. So that way we're not making the whole piece. We want the little details to pop. And then just go back and forth with your patinas. See how, that's why I like the texture of it, because it just picks it up so much. Okay, now I'm just trying to do the back without getting too much on. That's why That's why I chose, the texture just helps you create with this piece. And I did wax it before doing this, so we just have to take our time, letting it hit without having too much of the powder on. You don't want the whole body to look like what the ears and all the rest of it looks like. Okay, number 2 now. Already waxed his little nose. And 2 colors always play. And because you put quite a bit of wax to get that to stay, it really does spread out okay. So I want to make sure that this isn't going to rub off on anybody, even though my hands are a mess. I've been working. So I'm just going to seal this in with some of the Crayon matte finish, which will not be shiny and shouldn't leave any chalkiness on the brown colors. Dollar Tree sheet planner. I still randomly in different towns will stop at a Dollar Tree just to see, just in case, but I do think they are old stock. I don't think they're re-inventorying them, restocking them, but I do still have a few because y'all helped me out. And they are there. As soon as I put them in my booth, they're selling. So how can you not? Hey, the sheet planter. This time I think I'm actually going with my black theme. I did one where I painted it black and then I did some of the patina dusts on it and I loved it. So I'm getting, even though DIY has a white swan, I'm using little black dress because the heavily pigmented. I'm not looking to distress this piece, but I do love that it has a lot of pigment to it. See? So I might actually be able to, since I'm not distressing it, 1 coat may be plenty for this. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it probably will be. Sometimes I'm at the bottom of my container of the paint. So I actually have a little cup of water that I can dip my brush in, and that actually helps spread it. I mean, this has so much pigment in it that is, yeah, like look at, I can just keep adding water and it just keeps spreading that black all around. The can of this goes a long way. I'm just painting right over the little stopper that's there. Thing about DIY paint is you can take a heat gun and you can dry it so I can get it flipped. Though black is really easy to paint, as you see, 1 coat, it was good. I want to seal this in before flipping it over to complete the front, but black, a lot of top coats will turn black like a bluish shade, sometimes polyacrylic will. Or it'll splatter it, or like the Krylon, it will like make it chalky. But when I use the weather defense on black, I don't usually have any problems. So that's what I'm going to seal this paint in with. Okay, my weather defense clear coat is dry, so we're going to flip it over and complete the other side. So now there'll be minimal to paint. Okay, time to have some fun. So this is all dry, nice and nice and shiny, but you see it doesn't make it chalky. It doesn't make it like a blue tint. It dries evenly, which is a huge plus there. So I'm going to start off with some of the Sweet Pickins Grit. Use some clear wax. You can do it on your top coat, but the top coats I have usually dry pretty fast. So I'm just going to start adding waxes, the clear wax into the details. Like I said, this just has, these sheep have amazing details. Okay, so I'm going to pour some of this out onto a plate. Then I'm going to take a fan brush, dip it into the powder. Your dust or your wax does dry, so you don't necessarily want it to, like, I don't want to put it on the whole thing. So I'm just tapping, dipping it into the powder. Oh, look at, the last time I did it with, I think, just the cinnamon and the decrepit dust, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that this time, you know, which made them look rusty. I think I'm liking that. So you kind of have to, like, that might be the only one I add in. I don't know. We'll see. So there again, getting it a little bit heavier in the details. And then kind of wiping it on the whole item. Dipping, tapping. Kind of gives it a stone look. Now the wax will seal the dust in, but I still like to go over just a light coat of the Crayon matte, just lightly, just so, you know, because it's going to be kind of like get off on your hand because it's a dust and it's a little bit on the messy side. So this patina is amazing. I didn't think I could do something different because I've made so many of these over, but I'll be darned. Yep, sealing it in so you don't get it off your, you know, on your hands is a plus. You still kind of feel the texture of it, but yeah, lovely. Oh my gosh, love it. So we're gonna fill it in with some greenery. We're gonna start off with the Dollar Tree floral funny because from planter to planter, I've fit 4 full ones in here before, and this time it's a no-go, but that's okay. We just need to fill it up with something. So then now I'm going to stick some, this is just paper grass, but I think I'm gonna see, look at that green against that. Oh, it looks stone, doesn't it? Like a cement or something. Very fun. Always used candle rings and it's worked out just fine. But the candle rings this time for baby grass come on grapevine. So I'm gonna see if these work, if I can bend them a little bit. If they break, I don't really care, but yeah, I wanted baby grass for this one, and I'm like, what? So it's all good. The ones before had come closer and they weren't, they were plastic. And then if you have hairpins, use hairpins. I know you would think as a hairdresser I'd have hairpins, right? But I do not. Probably somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and just weave this in here to make sure my greenery stays down. I buy most of my greenery from CWI Gifts, wholesale, if not Hobby Lobby. You heard it. You heard it, right? Well, I need it to be closer together. So I have to overlay this. That's not gonna. Now if I'm gonna overlay it because there's a hole in the middle, I need a bigger wire. Maybe it won't take so many. Yeah, maybe. And thank you for the overwhelming last swan pair that I did. I have this swan that's looking glass eyes, head needs to be something, something. So it was really made, the head wasn't, as you can see, the head wasn't made to go forward, it was made to look back. And y'all on eBay, the auction, thank you for whoever won the final bid of the mama and the baby. But this set, I went into my stash and I was trying to look for the beaks that were similar. So I'm gonna do a mama and baby, but I'm gonna try black this time. Now this one has a much chunkier bill. Both of these do, because they're all a little bit different. And I don't know why they all look like baby poop color to me sometimes when I buy them, but they're not going to be that. I'm going to start off this deciding where to glue this piece on. It looks like they made it to go like that. I don't like that at all. But I like the thought. Let me turn this way. Yes, there we go. I like the thought of them looking at each other, like the mama looking back at the baby. So I think that's how, staging here, how I'm going to get them glued together. Some Tight Bond Quick and Thick in my applicator bottle. I'm just going to push that down in there. Yeah, I like that thought. I love that thought. That would be so cute staged, right? So I've got the Tight Bond on there, but see how that's flat? It's got a weird flat, and then there's going to be a gap. Now I probably could have used Bondo to glue it to, but I don't know. I was in the process and just my mind was thinking Tight Bond. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some Bondo. I'm gonna try to make that so it's not so like a weird flat spot like that. So Bondo putty, wood putty, filler, Bondo car, whatever. It's got a hardener. Yeah, I almost have to get into my my new container, but there's enough in there yet. So you just mix a little bit of the hardener in with it, and then it starts to harden as soon as you add that hardener on there. But I don't know, that just needs to flow, if I can get it to flow a little bit better, kind of like sculpting, I guess. So here we go. I don't know, maybe I don't use Bondo what it was intended for, but it works on the projects in my vision. And I like the cure time, which is very fast compared to like an air dry or anything like that. So I'd rather build it up so I can kind of round it down. Okay, now I need to see how much of this I can get sanded in. I'm going to start off with 80 grit. I probably have to go down to my mouse sander because now I've made some areas that are not so easy to get into. I think I'm going to try this because this beak is really chunky. This one goes in a little bit more. I'm just going to take the sander and see if I can get that to be a little bit closer, like not so wide. Yep, I was able to take some of it off, so there you go. I'll try to shape it that way. Mama here has big glass eyes, so I'm trying to, I don't know, sometimes you still have to clean them off at the end, but for the most part, it'll protect most of it. I'm going to need to seal this in with some shellac. I got all the way down to the wood. I've got, like, I did do a little bit of wood filler where there was like divots from where the Bondo, I didn't get it on even, or it chunked. But yep, I want my paint to be able to bond, so we're just going to seal it in, prime it with shellac. So I'm going to paint this black because of all this going on, and I had a ton of this left over from my bunnies. Not a ton, but you know. I'm going to go ahead and paint my swans with, this has bonder in it, so it should bond and be the coat that you see underneath. You just never know when you go to do a chippy black paint, which I'm going to try to do chippy. I don't want like some of this showing. I'd rather it be a little bit brighter. Yep, baby too. Okay, so here we go again. I'm hoping for some crackling, not necessarily chippiness, but so I'm going to, even though this has bonder on it, I know that shellac is my tried and true faithful of helping me get crazy with milk paint, so I'm going to seal it in with a coat or two. Okay, so for my black swan, I'm going to be using Lantern Sweet Pickins milk paint. Very heavy pigmented here, but that's what you want when it comes to a black. Now for my little baby swan, I have some galvanized gray. Yes, they have gray because he's supposed to be, when I looked up the pictures, still the black swans are, the little baby chicks are gray also. I don't need a ton of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up like that. My little guy, we're just going to do the gray. Okay, and no black, very black. I'm going to be painting the whole thing, so we'll get that bottom done first. I'm not worried about what color the beak is right now. I'm just painting it all the same base. We're going for the second coat, but I think I'll get some beautiful crackling crazy in there, which is what I was hoping for with that white peeking through. So second coat. I know you think, okay, just stop, but there is a difference between 1 or 2 coats on this technique anyway. Well, hello there, beautiful. Not even a pattern of crackles, some big old crackles. I'm glad that I had some of that paint left over to paint it. Gorgeous. This is gorgeous. I have to seal it in with a little bit of clear coat first. My little guy, I didn't get any crackle on, so I'm trying to help it along by misting I put another coat on it, misting it. Like, come on, do some cracking. From every item to every item, you just don't know. Okay, it is working now. I am getting it, but I got to be careful here. As I said, yes, we also use heat to remove the paint. Okay, so I need a little bit of red to go on the black swan's beak. So I'm going to use some red Wagner. I just have a spoonful of it in there. So, yep, just a little dab. And take a little bit of the black that I used on the mama, and I'm going to do the baby. So when I looked on the interweb, it showed black for the babies. Do they change? Does their beak color change as they age? I don't know. And then I painted over the eyes, so I'm just going to stick my end of my paintbrush in the paint and then just do a little dab to bring those eyes back out. Okay, now we're going to do the red. Get a littler brush to do the detail going up to the eye. And before I wax it, I need to take my tape off, but it's one continuous, so I need to cut it a little bit. I don't want to peel it off and it peel a whole bunch of our paint off. I'm going to start off waxing this little guy. And I have a antiquing wax, which is a darker brown, and I have decrepit dust because it's just one flat color. If it doesn't like do what I think it should do with the antiquing, I will add some decrepit dust, but I don't know. There we go. There's the character I was looking for. It was just a flat gray color to begin with, but nope. Oh, yay. Now I could still go in and just tap off. Just to give it a little bit more character. Not going to hurt a thing. That gray was gray. Just going to get straight antiquing wax. Going to do the same thing, even though she's black. You're like, what? Put some of that on. Because sometimes things are too clean. I can't want a clean house. don't want a clean product. I want it to look like it's been around for a while. Her eyes got too much white around them, so from the paint. So let me see if I can get some of that to stick in there. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. I kind of had some animal content going down there, but I had to share the rabbits, why the rabbits are on clearance for you all. And I wanted to kind of try a black swan to see how they sell, if anybody's interested, or if the white classic is everybody's jam. And oh my gosh, I didn't think that I could possibly come up with another creation for that sheep lantern, but I love it. It's beautiful. So again, thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.